Hey guys, it's I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at first off, happy Easter. Coming at you today with a new segment I'm gonna call spoopy videos or videos that are spoopy. Basically, it's called Glitch in the Matrix. It's from Reddit, and for those of you that don't know, it's when some things just seem a little off, some things that you can't explain. So I'm just gonna read a couple stories and let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'm also gonna read it, kind of like the character. Again, I chose this one. This one's called "A Gift from Beyond the Grave," just because it's about a guy who's in the military. And as I was in the military, I just thought, okay. And it also happened really recently, so I figured, okay, this is probably really good. So I'm gonna read it as if I was this guy. Backstory: on December 11th, 2004, grandfather passed away. Yep. Grandfather passed away. I was 13. Almost immediately, the 3 sons and 3 daughters tore the family in two and continued to feud. In February 2011, my grandmother passed away while I was deployed overseas when I was 20. After her death, the 3 sisters, hang on one second, guys. 3 sisters and heirlooms only wanted one thing. I wanted my grandfather's dog tags. Being the only grandchild to serve in the military, it was something that it just meant something to me. Sadly, I was told that I would not appreciate them and was essentially dismissed, so I personally never asked for anything else. After I was honorably discharged from the United States Marine Corps, I pursued a career as a chef. Over time, I started to really want to recover some certain family recipes. I'd cut ties with the family because I wasn't going to pick sides, and I either wanted the family to be together or I didn't want to be a part of it. So I haven't been in contact in years. My last contact was in August of 2013 when barely any of the family attended the wedding. So the story goes that the first week of December, I was talking with my brother. I only keep contact with him and my father. My brother mentioned how awesome it would have been to just have some of the recipes that my grandparents had. Zucchini Relish, to be specific. They made it fresh with ingredients from the garden. They jarred it. It was a big hit with the family. Now, a few days later, I was writing a letter to accompany some recipes that I was sending to a friend for Christmas. And again, this is back in December. I wrote the letter while I was taking a ferry ride to an island I was to work on that day. And when I finished the letter, I tucked it into a pouch that I had never used, but it was on my backpack. Pouch is basically where you would, your back meets the pack, and it opens at the top. It's very narrow, kind of something that like a letterhead would fit in, maybe even a small laptop. But the letter remained there until the end of the day, or the end of the week, rather. Now, Friday, December 11th, 2020, I returned home after work and immediately reached into that small, narrow pouch while focused on getting, my house key ready. Now, I pull a small piece of weathered paper, confused as it's not the letter, and I'm now focused on this paper while thinking to myself, what in the hell? Now, paper's weathered, written in a blue ink, which reminded me of the cheap blue pens my grandfather kept around the house. And the handwriting is vaguely familiar, right? So I proceed to read, and a chill goes up my spine. It's a zucchini relish recipe that me and my brother had talked about only days prior. So I immediately message him, and he tells me to look at the date, and it's 12/11. And in other words, it's the anniversary of my grandfather's death, and one of my grandparents' recipes spontaneously appears in an unlikely place. I audibly thanked my grandfather as I, walked into the house with the recipe in hand. Thank you, Granddad. But even more eerie is the fact that my brother has told me that the 3 daughters do not have possession of this recipe, and yet here it is in my possession where I had never even asked about it. Now, it's one thing to discuss something with someone, and social media shows ads for that, exact thing. Let's say if me and my sister are talking about getting a Tickle Me Elmo for, her daughter's, my niece's birthday, and then an ad pops up on YouTube. That's one thing. But it's another to discuss something personal and then have it spontaneously appear in an unlikely place by extraordinary means. And he actually goes over it on Twitter, and I'll, go back to normal now. And looks like it says zucchini relish, 10 sea squash, 10 4 stalks of celery, 4 sea onions, 2 green peppers, mixed with 5 tea salt. I don't know if that's tablespoons or teaspoons. Let it stand for 3.5 hours or overnight. You drain and rinse. You add cornstarch, turmeric, 5 of sugar, 1 tea mustard seed, 2 tea celery seed, 1 tea black pepper, 2.5 of vinegar. Mix good and bring to simmer. Simmer for about 35 minutes. Pack it in hot jars, cool it, keep it refrigerated. So, again, that's one of the things I wanted to read. Now, one of the other things I wanted to read was another video, or I'm sorry, not a video. It was from Glitch in the Matrix, and it's called "I Died Last Night, But I'm Still Here." And I'll just read this kind of normally. Now, so this technically happened last week. It took me some time to come to terms with it. I got a phone call from a next door neighbor late in the evening, asking if I could help him with the mattress, into his upstairs. His mom was ill and, has a big, heavy sleep number bed. And, I, of course, ran over to help just because they're great neighbors and you should take care of your neighbors. I get over there, and his friend, happens to be a priest, was there to help. And I helped him figure out how to separate the mattress from the bed so that we could fit it up the stairs. We get it all moved up, back in place. When my neighbor asks if he can help me with the armoire, ARMOIRE. My guy's going like 30 miles an hour in the parking lot. So he asked me if I can, get the armoire upstairs too. And, I think nothing of it. We pull out his travel trailer and start bringing it up the front stairs of his house. This is where something crazy happens. The front of the stairs are 11 steps. I was on the lower end of the armoire, about 6 steps up, when my neighbor and his friend, the priest, lose handle on the armoire, and it comes crashing down on me, and I fall backwards onto the pavement. And the next thing I know is I wake up on my dining room to my phone ringing and my wife asking me if I'm going to answer the phone. Now, it's my neighbor asking me if I can help move a bed upstairs for his mom. So I'm freaking out. I go over there. I meet his priest friend again, as this has been the first time I met him, supposedly. Chills going up my spine, getting goosebumps. I say I can help him with the bed, but I can't help him with the armoire. And my neighbor was like, "How'd you know about the armoire?" And I just proceeded to tell him that I'm pretty sure that I just died. And I spent the next hour talking with the priest, and he had so many questions. My neighbor didn't believe it until I described the upstairs bedroom in perfect detail, down to the metal mattress frame on the floor and the intricate headboard leaning against the wall. And I'd never been in the upstairs house before, so for me to describe that convinced my neighbor. The priest asked me what I saw after I died, and I told him I never actually died. Just before it came crushing down on me, I woke up on my dining room table. So TLDR, which means too long didn't read, I experienced my death, but I woke up about 20 minutes earlier in my life. And these are things, again, they're called, end of the story, they're called Glitch in the Matrix. And I have this theory, it's not mine, I came to it independently, but it's a main theory out there that didn't originate from me. I just came to it by myself. Something called quantum immortality. Like, if you guys have ever had dreams of watching yourself die, or you feel like you wake up like you're falling onto the bed. How's that happen? I don't know, but I think what we might be tapping into is alternate realities where, let's say if you're playing a game of Russian roulette, and you go to shoot yourself because it's the game, and which I do not recommend, by the way. You don't know if you have a bullet in there or it's, the next one or the next one. So as soon as you pull the trigger, Schrodinger's cat type of deal, two realities happen. One in which you live and one in which you die. Now, if you live, it can be argued, and I've heard it argued successfully, that there is another reality in which you died, and you yourself are immortal. That's why some people die before they're born. That's why some people die young, and that's why some people die at the ripe old age of, whatever they die at. And again, if going with the many worlds theory, I personally don't believe in the Copenhagen interpretation, which is just that there's one life, one universe. No, I believe in the many worlds theory, where there's different universes, and maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just we're all computer code, or ones and zeros, but this is something that quantum immortality, where all the other alternate universe yous are dying, and you're the one that's surviving. Like, you ever have a close call? You ever have something like, dude, I should have died, and then you didn't? Well, I have, and many times. Luckier than I should have been. I always say, like, it's luck, but I don't know what to call it. That's just one of the theories. Again, maybe we're computer code. Maybe there's an app. Maybe there is somebody putting in credits for us, like, oh, we're about to die. Let's put in more credits. And maybe we're the avatars. I don't know. I just thought this was interesting. I thought this was cool. I love you guys. I'm just waiting for laundry to be done. That's why I'm in my car. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I love you all. Happy Easter. Bye, guys. Meow, 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 meow.